Hello and welcome. If you're watching this part, you're watching the replay because nobody is here yet, but glad that you're here. So I'm just pulling up my knitting, getting things together. Let's see here. Don't need this cord. So if you're new to me, I am Jessica. I'm the knitting pattern designer and design mentor behind Snickerdoodle Knits, the facilitator behind the design circle. Hello and welcome, Liberty Lee. This is your first time joining. Welcome. And even if it's not your first time. So these weekly knit chit chats are just where we hang out and chat. I'd love to hear what you're working on. A lot of times I end up talking about my week and my knitting and the ideas. It's just like we're hanging out on the couch, sitting next to each other, knitting and chatting. So I really appreciate you joining. Do you have any knitting projects you're working on, or crochet projects, or craft projects in general? Welcome, Red Poppy, and Land of Liberty. What are you guys working on? Do you have any knitting projects or crafting projects you've been working on? So this here is another version of In a Mood. So if you've been here for a while, or if you've been paying attention to my posts that I've had here on Snickerdoodle Knits recently, I designed a shawl called In a Mood shawl, and it's a choose your own adventure style where you get to choose your own yarn weight and the size and when you do the stitches and how many stitches you use and things like that. So the pattern includes 4 different stitch motifs. And I am working on creating, well, this was supposed to be a cowl, but I think this one is going to be an infinity scarf, which is basically a cowl. Like, how do you differentiate between an infinity scarf and a cowl? If you have any definitions for me, pop those in the comments. But anyway, I think this will be the infinity scarf, and I'll go ahead and do a cowl that is just a simple cylinder to put over your head. But the idea with this one is one color creates the first loop, the second color will create another loop, and then I'll go back to this blue color. So it can loop 3 times if you want it warm and cozy, and then it could be longer to be 2 times. But of course, if you wanted to knit the pattern, you could make it totally customizable in size too. So what I'm doing is I'm doing the drop stitches in garter for the first third. I kind of just created a pattern there. And I'll include all of the instructions of what I actually work in the pattern, just like I did for the shawl. And now I'm doing the inside out garter rib. And I think I'm just going to do the whole length except for the garter on the ends for this color. And then the third section will be the simple lace. But I still do not have my samples because they are still at the yarn shop. And I just got back from vacation. Red Poppy said, really cute, love the colors. Thanks so much. I love these colors too, especially these blues. I love blues. So this is Hand-Dyed Diva yarn. Of course, I don't have the labels with me, but it's DK weight, and I'm not going to remember the names. If you want the names, you can send me a message and I can find them, because they are, I took out a bunch of stuff from my bag before I went traveling. And I have these really cute stitch markers that are not on my needles, but they came from Camp Fiber Yarns. So I think they have holes on both ends, so I guess you can just slide them onto your needles as far as you want. So did I say stitch markers? These are not stitch markers. These are needle stoppers. Hold your stitches on your needles. But welcome, Alexis and I Love Art or Isle of Art, and Chili Sheep Wool. We're just hanging out and knitting and chatting. What have you been knitting on lately? I was just sharing about my recent project. It's like an In a Mood infinity scarf that the idea is it'll wrap 3 times, but then it'll have 3 different color sections. So I was just talking about campfire yarns. And so she's the one I had shared a while back. We are talking about a collaboration together. I don't think it'll release until January just because of my timeline in particular. But before my vacation, she had sent these yarns for me to try out and swatch with. And obviously, I still have not gotten the swatching done, but they are all DK weights. So she has 5 DK weight yarn bases, which of course makes me happy. I love DK weight. So anyway, it's interesting, the different textures and colors. I don't know if you can really tell, like this one is really an oatmeal-y color. This is her deluxe MCN DK, which is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. And then like these are more yellowy, and you can see the plies more in this twist. I think that's twist. Yeah, twist apply DK. Anyway, they're just fun. So I'm going to be swatching specifically for the stitch motif that I want to use, just to make sure it has the right amount of drape and things like that. And so that's really exciting. It's actually the first time I have had a dyer send me samples before I started the design, so I can really make sure it's the best base. So it's a lot of fun. Welcome King's Fiber Fest. If you have been working on a fiber project, go ahead and pop that in the chat. Love to hear what you've been working on. And if you're watching the replay as well, this replay will be available. But if you're watching the replay, go ahead and share what you're working on too, because I love to hear. That's the whole reason for these weekly knit chit chats. It's not so much to talk about what I'm up to, but just to connect with you and hear what you're up to and things like that. So, the other thing I always like to do on these chats is ask, what are 3 words to describe your week? And we could even say 3 weeks, because it has been 3 weeks since the last chat because of my vacation. So if you have 3 words to describe your week, you can pop those in the comments here live or in the replay. I just had written down my 3 words. And it was busy. And then the other 2 words I had were ordinary and calming, but I don't really know if that's the right way to put it. Basically, I got back from vacation Tuesday night and everything's been catch up since then. So it hasn't been super exciting. It's kind of been calming down from the vacation, and just catching up. So yeah, I guess I could share a little bit about my vacation if you're interested, and if you weren't watching my stories while I was gone. So the whole idea was my 2 youngest siblings are in college and high school, and they were on spring break for a week, and so my family had decided that they were going to go on a road trip. And my other brother, who is not in school anymore, he and his wife had also decided that they were going to go on a road trip. So they invited us to join as well. My husband wasn't able to go because he had work, but I joined them for their road trip. So that was the whole reason I went. They were driving down, so they live in Montana. I'm out in North Carolina, so I had to fly home. But they were driving down to the national parks in Utah and Arizona. So like Grand Canyon, Zion, Bryce, Arches, all those national parks down there. So it's a lot of fun. I flew into the town where my sister lives and stayed with her, which was fun because it was my first time seeing her, and her own place. She's sharing it with a roommate, but my first time actually seeing her away from home. She's a freshman in college, so spent a night with her, and then she joined me, and we went to my childhood best friend's place and had basically a couple days. It was just one night, but a couple days with her and her kids, which was a lot of fun. And then we went down to where my brother and his wife live, and we're there to leave early the next morning for the road trip. And we spent the next week doing all of the things. It was very busy. Several early mornings because of needing to deal with parking at the national parks, especially Grand Canyon and Zion National Park. So actually with Zion, we tried to go to it on a Thursday, and the parking lot had filled, and so they closed the gate to like the main area of the park, or the longer stretch of the park, at 6:45 in the morning. We got there at 9 with the intention to be there early, and we were too late. So we ended up going on to Bryce that day, and then went back to Zion the next day, so Friday, a week ago now, and we were there by 6 o'clock, or 6:05. 6:05 I think is the time we got into the parking lot, according to my mom. I had fallen asleep in the back of the car. And then we didn't have any gear for hiking in the middle of the night or the dark. So we just stayed in the van for an hour and a half until there was enough daylight that we could get out and do stuff. So then I went home with my parents, so my hometown where I grew up, and I was able to see a bunch more of my family. I have 2 living grandparents, one on each side of the family, and so I was able to see them. I was able to have my birthday with them, saw some of my cousins and aunts and uncles that are all around that area, and then I flew home Tuesday. Welcome, Vicky. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining. I'm just knitting and chatting here. So what have you been working on? Do you have a knitting project you've been working on? Feel free to share about it in the comments. I am just knitting on my In a Mood infinity scarf. I might make some good progress here. We'll see. We'll see how busy I am chatting and not knitting. Yeah, so then, like I said, I got home Tuesday night. Still haven't even finished unpacking everything. But it's been good. It was really good. And then tomorrow, my friend gets married, so I'm going to be busy all day with that. There's actually a craft festival here in Charlotte this weekend. It's their first time hosting it, but I won't be able to go. So, yeah. Let's see what else has been going on. I got some secret yarn. Hello, Jill. It's good to see you. I'm just sitting here knitting and chatting. I shared some about my vacation, but if you have time to hang around, you can share what you've been working on, knitting projects or other artsy projects. This is my In a Mood not shawl, infinity cowl, and so now I'm doing this same length in this color. So that's what I'm working on. So yeah, what I was just saying was I got some yarn when I got home from vacation. That's a secret. So it's my first design that's been accepted to a submission. I guess I submitted the design to a call for submissions, and it was accepted, and so now I have the yarn. So that's exciting. I still haven't even caked it up or anything because I just got it. And that's pretty much my knitting stuff that's been going on. The LYS Day 2022 shawl to be released on April 30th. That's exciting. What kind of a shawl is it? I apologize if you've shared about it and I haven't noticed it. I feel like I haven't been on Instagram a whole lot with traveling, but that's exciting. Thank you. These colors, I really do like these colors. And of course, I don't have the ball bands with me, so I don't remember what the color names are, but it's Hand-Dyed Diva yarn, which is a local yarn dyer. It's a secret. Okay, perfect. Hand-Dyed Diva is a local dyer that also owns a yarn shop in our area. So this was actually a collaboration. Well, the shawl originally was a collaboration for their birthday celebration. The shop has been open for 5 years now. Hand-Dyed Diva is 3 years old now. So I designed the In a Mood shawl for their shop celebration. And I didn't get the yarn in time to get the cowl knit, but yeah. And thank you on the congratulations. It's a lot of fun. I think it'll be interesting to see what I think of it, because I'm so used to self-publishing everything that I don't know. But yes. So my other yarny news was that my aunt, for my birthday, gave me this yarn. So it's I guess I don't even actually know, just a cotton yarn, I think. Yeah, 100% cotton. But I use it for scrubbies. It's kind of a fun colorway with the purples and the yellow, orange, and the green. I don't actually know a knitting project for it, but I do crochet scrubbies. So if you, sorry, this is probably loud on your end. But if you have a pattern suggestion besides just simple crochet circular scrubbies, feel free to share. But it does work. It works really well for that. And of course, it's even called scrubology. Yeah. Welcome to other folks joining. The other thing, I think Jill's the only one still left right now. The other thing I like to do on these chats, if you want to participate, Jill, is I like to ask, what are 3 words to describe your week? How's your week been? I don't feel that my words are actually very accurate, but I said busy, ordinary, and calming, and that was primarily because I just got back from vacation. So it's calming in the sense that I haven't been getting up at 4 a.m. and hiking 5 miles a day, and I've just been catching up, and I still have some catching up to do, but so it's been busy. There was some traveling. There was seeing a bunch of people at home at the beginning of the week. But yeah, how's your week been? I guess then last time we chatted 3 weeks ago, I was in the middle of, well, I shouldn't say the middle of the beginning of a bunch of planning for the book collaboration inside of the design circle. And since then I went ahead and I asked for somebody else to help me a bit with the admin, because if you remember, it was getting to be a lot. And then we have extended our timeline primarily, I can't talk, primarily for the sake of just figuring out a bunch of the logistics financially. We have a bunch of things we want to implement, and before designers commit, they would really like to know what the finances are. So that makes sense. So now, instead of hoping to release in December of this year, we're looking more at autumn of next year. So Jill said, selling our house, so busy, stressful, and full of gratitude. Well, I'm so glad. Is the house sold? If so, congratulations. That's got to be a good feeling. We've moved quite a few times, but the place we're in now is the first place we've actually purchased, so we haven't ever had to deal with selling. But I do know moving in general is busy and stressful. Not yet. Okay, well, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for you. If it's like most places in the market, hopefully it won't be too long. My brother actually just closed on a house before our vacation in Montana. The housing prices there are crazy. So do you have your next location figured out? I know we've chatted a little bit and I don't remember all the details. I mean, like, I know you have and you know where you're headed, but do you have a place figured out? Do you have another home to move into now? I don't love moving. We've only had a couple years where we haven't moved because there for a while, especially while we were in college and had internships over the summer. We were moving at the beginning of summer and we were moving at the end of summer, and yeah. Going to Washington DC, and you do have another home. That's good. I'm sure that's at least a relief to at least know that half is figured out. So I wish you the best. And are you pretty well moved? Like, have you moved your stuff and you're just selling your house, or do you still have to move? This is where it's like, I probably might as well just pull you on and chat with you on video instead. Actually, still have to move. Okay. So that's the part, in my opinion. It's funny, I do enjoy, like, organizing stuff. So, like, there's a certain amount of, like, packing and unpacking that I enjoy, but at the same time, the whole process is just a lot. But I know that you've done it a lot as well, so I hope it all goes well. What else? I think that's all that I had in my notes to share. So what's new with you? Hate the packing part. Maybe I'll come do the, well, I think I like the packing up until you're to, like, the little tiny last minute stuff that you then have to, like, find places for, and it's just a bunch of junk. Not junk, but a little stuff. I like the point of packing where, like, you can see your progress easily. It's just very satisfying to me, but I don't like the cleaning part. And I don't like the actual hauling the boxes in and out and all of that stuff either. But so yeah, is there anything else happening for you besides designing and knitting a secret shawl? Well, I'm assuming that was your design. I guess I could go back. I'm guessing it's your design. Besides designing and packing, moving. Hello, light in all the light. How are you? Do you have any knitting projects you've been working on? We're just hanging out and knitting and chatting. You're working on a new sock design right now. Is that one a secret? Or can you share what kind of design that is? That's fun. I only have one sock design that I've ever done, and I have some yarn that I want to turn into a sock design, but I don't actually know what the sock should look like. So, and I think I want more socks for myself, but I want, like, GQ weight slipper socks. So maybe that's what I need to design. I also have very much been wanting to do like pullovers and things like that for designing, and that will be a lot more time consuming, especially since I haven't done one yet. So, but that's kind of what's up next on my plans. Not a secret, just some cool. Oops. Just some cool yarn I recently purchased, so I cast it on today. That is fun. Did you have a plan before you started, or did you just go for it? Yes, do sweaters. I feel like all of my ideas and inspiration and everything are sweaters. So, it's definitely happened. I don't think you were here when I was talking about the camp fiber yarn. She sent me all of these samples that are all DK weight, her bases to swatch, and that is the sweater design that I have committed to so far. So I have committed to one, and I think it'll be a lot of fun, but I need to swatch up with these and decide exactly which base I think will work best for the texture. And I think that'll be fun. So, and then of course for the design circle book collaboration, the design that I want to do is a pullover for that as well. So, yes. You have a plan for the shape of the socks, but let creativity take over for the stitch design. That's fun. So do you like just start knitting, or if you're interested, I'm totally also okay with just bringing you on for a chat if you want. Since we're just chatting back and forth in the comments. It looks like Jill Loves to Knit is back here now too. I'm assuming those aren't both your account. So the other Jill, if you'd like to share what you've been knitting on and stuff, feel free to do that as well. All right, Jill's gonna join. Let's see here. I think I accepted it. Let's see. There we go. Hello.
Hi. I was like furiously typing, and then there's the delay between the two.
Yeah, but I'm glad you joined.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. So are you working on your sock right now?
I am.
Okay, so it's a really fun speckle.
Yeah, the yarn is definitely a fun speckle, and that's what drew me to it. And then I was playing with kind of stitch designs and came up with this, it's like a faux ruffle.
Okay.
So yeah, it's squishy and fun, and it's actually going to be a yoga sock. So I've been doing a lot of the simpler Sisu heel socks, and actually had a request just from a friend to do a sock without a heel and without a toe, but have it be one piece, And so that's what this will be.
Fun.
So I can't use, as like, of course, the first thing that comes to my mind is the phrase yogi toes, because that's what I know, but it's already taken. I can't use that. So I need to come up with a totally different name for it. So.
So are you do you think you'll continue to stitch?
Yeah.
Through the whole thing?
Yeah, I'm really liking it. At first I wasn't. And this was really kind of cool. Sorry, I'm like working on where to put you. You're leaning up against a tea kettle right now. When I first started doing it, I was with a knitting group this morning, the store I always go to in Fairhope, Alabama, Southern Twist Yarns. And I love the ladies there, and a lot of us were there this morning. And as I started, I was like, I don't really know if I'm liking this stitch. And then I was like, just keep, like a little gut feeling, just keep going with it. And then was showing it around, and it's like, no, I think this is really going to work. So
yes.
So yeah, this is luckily not one of the designs where I have to cast on 1,000,004 times before I get to where I want to be.
Yes. That's
So
always a good feeling.
congratulations on your submission. That's great.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, it's fun.
But
And then
you
it's
were saying
also
some, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's also fun because they chose to work with a yarn dyer that I have been thinking about collaborating with for quite a while and just haven't ever gotten the right project for. So
Nice.
with their yarn too.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you were saying something about the book collaboration right before my message cut you off.
Oh yeah.
Or your book, yeah.
I think I was just saying that one of my sweater design ideas, I want to do that for the book collaboration. So, yes.
I love doing sweaters. I really do. It's funny because I love knitting socks too, but I don't really wear them so much.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That's a weird double-edged sword there.
Yeah, that's part of why I think I'm so interested in sweaters right now is like it's something that I want more of in my wardrobe. Like I think I'd actually wear it more often because I like just wearing cozy, simple tops. And so that's what a lot of my design ideas are right now. And then for socks, it's like I just want slipper socks that are basically I just like cozy.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's funny you say that, right? Like when my husband, this was years and years ago, I guess now 12 years ago, when my husband and I were first married, I was like, I want to work in cozy all day long. And of course, at that point, I was working with middle schoolers, which is not cozy at all. It's smelly and not cozy. And so I was like, I want to be in comfy cozy every day. And here we are.
here we are. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought it?
That's so fun.
Any plans for the weekend? Any knitting plans?
Not knitting plans. Well, I'll work on this in the car, but my friend is getting married tomorrow. So she's getting married at her parents' place, which isn't too far from us. And so we'll be over there early to help them with all the stuff.
And there's a lot of stuff. Oh, cool. Very nice.
Yeah, what about you?
We are showing our house this weekend. So just getting that done.
Yeah. Are you like actually going to be there for the showing or is it like the realtors? Yeah. So when we got this place, it was we never met the folks that owned it, of course, but it was like a wish that we could have because this room that I'm in now, the lady had set up as crafting room. Like there's a whole bunch of scrapbooking stuff and stamping stuff and all this stuff. And then they had a room, like what is now our dining room was like their music room, and they had a grand piano and stuff in there. And my husband really loves playing piano, and so it's like I wish that we could like meet these people because I feel like we share so many common interests.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's too bad you couldn't. Yeah. So yeah, I always wonder what people think. Like we just now started showing, so that we, there's actually only been one cup family in the house so far, but my whole like studio office where I do all my videos and everything is all set up upstairs, and it's very knit. Like there's no question of about what it is, and it's like I wonder what people think when they come in here and see the body form and the yarn swift and everything that's kind of set up, and the video equipment too. I mean, I guess I could take it all down and keep putting it back up, but that's kind of a pain. But you walk in and see like all the cameras, and it's like, what's this girl doing in here? So yeah. But
exciting. Do you have like a certain date that you have to be in DC, or you there until the house calls, or?
No, we are in between May and June, like mid-May, mid-June. So we have a little bit of time, but it's gonna go fast. So.
Yeah, it always does.
It always does. So do you have a yarn, like a knitting group where you are that you go
Yeah,
to?
I have been going to one, well, kind of two really close by. They're both always Tuesday nights, so I have to decide which one I go to.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I've done that the last few months. I didn't really do it much. So we moved into this place in the middle of COVID,
Okay.
and didn't do a whole lot for quite a while
Yeah.
doing people. So yeah. But then like the one that I really enjoy is they move every quarter. So
Uh-huh.
now they're going to be moving to a different location because they go around like the whole city of Charlotte and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I'm not looking forward to them moving.
Why? Because then you get to see new places.
Yeah, but I like how convenient it is when it's, I can just, so there are tons of different places I could go around Charlotte. But when it's like half an hour each way and I'm like, or more, I'm like, I could just sit and knit.
Yeah. It's the blessing and the curse of being a homebody.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's like, do I really want to spend an hour of my time traveling just to socialize with people?
Oh gosh.
Yes.
So
So it's been really nice when it's been so convenient because then it's like I don't have nearly as many excuses to not go.
yeah. Well, it's interesting. We moved into our home in March of 2020, right when everything was kind of shutting down. And so for the first year and a half, really, we just stayed indoors. Like we didn't go anywhere. And it ended up being a weird blessing in disguise with the knitting community because I got involved with with like online stuff and through Zoom and a colleague and we actually started our own little knitting group online too that met a few times a month. And I was able to meet people, I mean, similarly to how we kind of met online in a way that I otherwise probably wouldn't have.
Yeah.
And so it was like COVID was actually, looking for the silver lining of things. COVID was actually a bit of a blessing in that way.
Yeah.
So, and
But then I like got overwhelmed with all of the different options because it's like, oh, now I have like 20 different groups I want to join every week.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's amazing how many different opportunities there are.
Yeah, there are, but it's great.
Yes. So, do you know any knitting groups where you're in DC, where you're headed?
No.
So, I'm pretty sure Bloom.create just hopped on. I don't know if she's still on. I'm pretty sure she's in DC area. Emma, if you're on, oh no, looks like she's not on.
And Running on Yarn just joined.
Hello, Laura. She's in Wyoming. She was actually one of the people that taught me how to knit. I learned how to knit like 4 different times.
Oh, funny.
But she has her own yarn dyeing company, so that's fun.
Oh, very cool. Who is that?
Running on Yarn.
Running on Yarn.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if that's running as in running like actually you're a runner. It is? Oh, or like running on coffee, like you need
No, she's a runner. Yeah.
My husband's a runner and I've tried so many times and I just can't. I just can't run. My body's not doing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But do you know for your sweater design, are you able to share what you're thinking about doing?
Yeah. So it's just really simple. Laura said it could be either, but I was based off running.
Hi. Hi, Laura. I'm gonna look up your yarns after this. I want to see them.
Yeah, she does a lot of bright colors.
Nice.
Really fun. Yeah, so the one sweater that I have quote unquote committed to. It is really simple with a herringbone band around the waist. And then I'm going to do a couple different sleeve length options, but some of them will have a band, like a cuff with the herringbone. Otherwise, just really simple. And then the one for the design circle, I'm going to have to figure out how to get it to all work with short rows, but it's like a curve that it'll be a split between two different colors with like this curved look in the body. So, but then otherwise it's really simple. So
cool, nice. I love short rows. That actually came up in our knitting group today, is talking about different types of short rows and making sure you don't get the holes in there.
Yeah.
I am a German short row fan. Anytime if I can make it work in a pattern that calls for short rows, I will use the German short row. It's what I use for my heels. That's actually the reason why the simpler Sisu heel works, is because of the German short rows. But I find them fun. I think they do the coolest things to fabric.
Yes. Yeah, I haven't done a whole lot. I wouldn't even be able to, like, I know how, I think I've only done wrap and turn.
And that's the standard. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've done one sweater. I've knit myself one sweater, and I've knit myself a couple pairs of socks, and I think they all used the same wrap and turn.
Yeah. And it works. I mean, if you can get the pickup right.
Yeah. My sweater definitely holes in it, but
yeah, see, I could never get the pickup the way I wanted it to look. So
well, I also like didn't 100% understand what the instructions were doing, and so I definitely messed it up in a few places.
nice.
But
we all do it. It's what happens.
Yeah.
So, well, very cool. Well, thank you for pulling me on. I appreciated it. Like, I know I got the little notification that you were on live, and I'm like, oh, I haven't seen you in a little bit. So
yeah, that's fun. I'm glad you joined. I've thought about doing this for a little while, seeing if folks would want to join, because the first few, I had quite a few folks join live, but since then it seems like everybody pretty well watches the replay, and I don't have a lot of folks joining live, so that is usually just ends up me chatting with one, maybe two other people. So might as well do live.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I messed up my stitch count somewhere. This is not good.
Uh-oh.
This is what happens when you talk and knit.
Yes.
Oh gosh. And if we weren't live right now, I wouldn't be saying gosh. I'd be saying that isn't knit. Oh gosh.
That's like the saying that we say made with love because the other words you use aren't appropriate to put in your garment or whatever.
I have not heard that, but I like it. I've seen ones that say like made with lots of love and a few glasses of wine or something like that.
Yeah. Well, fun. I hope your showings go well, and best of luck with your move.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be in touch, but it'll all come together. Crazy few months, so.
Yes. And for if anybody watching this didn't watch our actual live together, Jill and I went live in February and talked about community and stuff like that, I think.
We tangented off like we tend to do, but we talked a lot about community and your design circle and just kind of how, as knitters, we can all come together, and that's what brings us together, even though we, may not know anything else about each other, but then that's what sparks the foundation. So I think it's really cool.
Yeah, so that replay It's on my Instagram at least. I don't remember if it's on yours or not. But
Yeah, it's on mine too.
yeah.
It's on my
Fun. Well, thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the wedding.
Thank you. And
Enjoy.
welcome to the other folks hopping on. Sorry, you started to say something else too?
No, I was to say, enjoy your knitting. What you're working on.
Yeah, this is actually like the perfect knitting for talking because one row is just knitting and the next row is just knit one, purl one, and you know. So I think I've done. Well, I did a little bit of this on the plane, maybe to like here.
Okay.
The rest was just from on a Zoom call yesterday, and now this live today. So.
Okay, so this sparks a question. You're magic looping.
Yep.
Okay, so no to double points. What are your
double point?
You can.
I hate them.
I am a double point gal, except for I just recently, and I did a reel on it not too long ago, like earlier this week, on double circulars.
Mm-hmm.
It works the same way as magic loop, but you don't end up with the ladders, and you don't have to worry about the pull so much. Like you still have to pull tightly, even though, like with any sort of in the round. But I really, really was liking the double circulars, but I went with the old fashioned chopsticks for this one.
Well, I keep thinking, especially with this small circumference, it's like this I think might work really well with like the 9-inch circulars, but I've never actually tried them.
I have those too, and I find I actually was using the 9-inch circulars for the ribbing, and then switched over to we got a fun comment. It says, only managed to catch like 5 minutes, but I'm determined to catch at least part of your lives. Nice. Well, I used the 9-inch circulars for the ribbing and then switched to double points when I went into the body, because on the circulars you get, even though it's small, like I do admit my hands kind of cramp a little bit, but you get such an even ribbing when you use the circulars.
Maybe I should try them out.
You don't have to worry about, or at least I don't worry about like the ladders, and especially in ribbing, they tend to pull a bit, and you can see the breaks, but I really like them for the ribbing. So might want to try it.
Yeah. I always feel like my ribbing is a bit messy, but then Hohi Locatelli one time talked about how her ribbing is just like terrible, and often her mom does her ribbing for her, and it made me feel a lot better.
Nice. I know ribbing's a thing for people. I love it, actually. I would do, the only reason I don't have like a full seed stitch or a full fisherman's knit sweater is because I know a lot of people don't like ribbing. Like I would make it just for myself, but it probably wouldn't, the pattern wouldn't sell very well. But I don't know. I'm one of those weirdos. I just kind of get into the emotion of the yarn, but.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I just feel like it's like sloppy when I'm done. I think a lot of it must be my tensioning between knits and purls, and so it makes that kind of wonky. But
yeah, I hear you. So I started my row with a slip when I was supposed to start with a knit, and that's what threw me. Well, I'm sure you want to leave room for other people to possibly, join on and chime in, but thank you for having me. And
yes, this was fun. All right.
Little impromptu live.
Yes. Hello, everybody else hopping on. You can share what you're knitting, and if you want to come live to share,
I'll fill off.
All right. Thank you. See you later.
Bye.
So Jill was sharing socks that she is working on. I guess I can put this back down unless somebody wants to hop on live. You can put it in the comments, or you can make a request and it'll tell me. But yeah, we were just knitting and chatting, and there weren't too many people, so Jill hopped on so she didn't have to just frantically type in the comments. But the other question I have, if you don't want to share what you've been knitting on lately, is how's your week been? I got back from vacation late Tuesday night and have been catching up, and that's basically been my week. So it's been good. It's been busy, but it hasn't been too stressful. Has anybody been doing any knitting or crocheting or weaving or spinning or anything fibery? Those are other crafts I would love to try, especially weaving and spinning. But I don't want myself yet. I'm already busy enough with all my knitting. You're on a 10-minute break at work, but I've been working on a summer top recently. That is fun. I should have paid attention to when you hopped on. But I'm glad you were able to hop on. I love that your goal is to catch part of the live every week. And actually, it's probably good that Jill went live with me because I might have run out of things to say. If you're still able to stay on, I don't know how much you have left of your work break, but if you want to share what your top is or kind of stitches it's using or anything like that, feel free. There's a bug flying around. Just a little gnat. And Bobby, I see that you're on too. If you want to share what you've been working on or adventures you've been going on or anything like that, feel free to share. And again, if anybody else wants to go live, you're more than welcome to join. But yeah, I like to close it off with, still feel free to share. But since nobody else is responding right now, I like to share a couple of different ideas from the week, motivational or something like that. And so what I'd written down was to remember to take time for you, of course, inspired by my vacation, and that life can wait. A lot of times it feels like we have to be caught up with our work and our responsibilities, but in reality, it'll still be waiting for you when you go back. So whether it's taking some time just in a day, an afternoon, or a longer vacation, remember to take care of yourself. So Bobby said she's working on her first design collection at the moment. That is very fun and very exciting. Congratulations. If you want to share any more about what's in the collection, feel free to. Bobby participated in the free design challenge that I hosted in February, so that was a lot of fun. Sarah said she's been heavily modding the Andrea Mowry everyday sweater to be short-sleeved and knit and fingering. It's all just straight stockinette, but I love to use sock sets with 2 minis for it. That sounds like a lot of fun. A bit more colorful. That sounds like really fun. I don't imagine, since you are on work break, you can show it, but feel free to send me a picture sometime. Hello, Lady Night Designs. Welcome. If you want to share what kind of projects you've been working on lately, feel free to share that in the comments. We have about 5 more minutes left of just knitting and chatting. For anybody else who came a little bit later, crazy swatching a head full of ideas. I love that. I understand how that goes. I'm sure I probably shared with you, I have a whole design notebook with way over 100 design ideas. So in crazy sock mode, that's fun. You just missed Jill of Knit Sisu was on live because we were basically just chatting between her and I in the comments. And so she shared about some socks that she's working on right now that are fun. They're actually going to be yoga socks, but if you catch the replay, you can see what she's working on. So that's fun. Are you designing your own socks? can't stop making socks right now. Do you do fingering weight, or do you have anything specific you're leaning towards for your socks? Specific kind of designs or motifs or anything like that? Sarah said she can't bring her knitting to work. Not positive it would stay clean, and I don't have a good place to keep it safe. Fair enough. I haven't had. I maybe brought my knitting. I don't know if I even brought my knitting to my work when I was working in architecture. Definitely when I've worked in construction, but take you when I finish the curve one so you can see it. Perfect. Thank you so much. And since you probably have to go back to work soon, I hope you have a good rest of your day working. And thanks for joining. Lady Night Design said yes to fingering weight and 9-inch circular needles. We were just talking about that too. I've heard so many conflicting reviews of 9-inch circs. It seems like people either love them or they hate them. I guess I just have to buy myself a pair. Part of my problem with socks, specifically fingering weight socks, is that I'm such a loose knitter that I have to go down to 000s. And so then it just like my needles just feel so tiny and it feels like it takes forever. But so fun to chat live instead of in the YouTube comments. Yes. Even if it was just for a few minutes. And of course the replay will be on YouTube as well. But thanks for joining. And thanks for all of your comments on the videos. I appreciate it. So you need to figure out a sock design. Do you tend to, I can't even think of what your designs look like, I apologize. Do you tend to lean towards textures or cables or lace or anything like that? Or do you kind of do a lot of different things with your designs? There for a while, it seemed like everything I was designing was slip cross stitches. Like my designs with mountains and trees and things like that. But now I kind of seem to have more variety again. All over. Fun. Yeah, I don't think I could, I don't know, I get maybe bored too easily, so my stuff's all over too. But then at the same time, once I get on a kick for something, I can't get off of it. Like this design, that was the In a Mood shawl, which granted, you can basically have a million iterations of this. Now this is the In the Mood infinity scarf, and then I will also do it In a Mood cowl, but it's all using the same 4 stitches. But you can, it's not like I actually have to have the whole design figured out, because the point is that you work what you're in the mood for. So I have a vague idea of what I'm wanting to do, and then I kind of just do what I'm in the mood for, just like I recommend my knitters doing. So, but I'm really loving this inside out garter robe right now, which is interesting because I don't know, it just doesn't seem like something I'm always in the mood for, but maybe it's just been especially perfect when I've been doing a bunch of chatting again and the travel knitting and things like that. It's simple enough that it's easy to work on without a lot of concentration. So yes. Anybody else been working on any projects they want to talk about? I see there's a few people on. Okay, so I was telling my tip, my whatever you want to call it, motivational whatever, thought, whatever I've been thinking of. So I'd mentioned take time for yourself and life can wait, and remember what's important to you. It's something that I've been thinking a lot about lately, that I need to go back to my priority list and really think about what's most important, so I'm not busying myself with everything and anything, but that applies to a lot of different areas of our life. because you kind of have to make time for the things that you want to make time for. Life isn't so easy at just handing time over all the time. And I feel like I just said time a million times over. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me, whether you're joining live or in the replay. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and let me know what you've been working on, how your week has been, if you have any weekend plans. If you join live, thank you so much for participating. Again, I do this all for the sake of connecting with you. So it's not so much about what I have to share. I really do like connecting with you and hearing about what you're up to. So remember that you are on your own journey, and so I hope you enjoy that journey, and I'm sending big hugs as always. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you again next week. The replay, if you're just catching the end, the replay will be available both on Instagram and on YouTube, hopefully by the end of the night. So thanks again, and I'll talk to you later.